Oh, man. Whatever. It is. Yes, it is Friday, the 11th of October, AD 2024. And we're going to have a fun, loosey-goosey, The Hake Report show, whether you like it or not. Okay? And let me make sure that I can make sure that this is going. We're looking at the beautiful area that is now closed off to the public, by the way. Beautiful Sacred Cove? Pirates Cove? I don't even know. But it's shut off because it's, if you're watching the video feed, it is shut off because it's, it's not safe. It's unsafe. Let's see. Is that the snare? We will talk about some stuff going on in the world. I did miss some of your super chats. I'm live on Rumble and YouTube and D-Live. What's up, D-Live crew? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Live on Facebook, I do believe. And X. Yes. Hello, everybody. I got a Rumble rant about... Oh, Lord. Obama was simping for Kamala. I'm going to play that. Maternal mortality. You know, I got a call. No, I was covering Reddit. Follow Hake on Reddit. And then beautiful C-Sal called in and said that women aren't dying from, people don't die from, women don't die from having babies. You know, basically as a general statement, right? And so I got a coffee from Popcorn's Thump Cake saying, it's dishonest to say that it's not happening ever. That it's perfectly safe. It's no big deal. They do die. They absolutely do die. But when you can make a general statement and say they don't, when everybody knows that, yeah, sometimes it happens. And usually it's like a preeclampsia, the fat, stuff like that, high blood pressure. It's a mess. So I'll talk about that. Space is cool, by the way. I'm wearing a beautiful Flat Earth t-shirt. Shout out to my beautiful Flat Earth fans and friends, listeners. Check the mail, Hake. I'm sending you something. Nice. I am a ball-tard, but I do promote the Flat Earth. I signal boost big time. So, all that and your calls, guys, if you would like to call in. But... anyway, guys, let's just get right on with the show! Oh, nice.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the beautiful AJ Gallardo original theme song at the Hake Report. Guys, go.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. I'm wearing, as you saw, this, the Hake Report, it says, and it's very shiny. You should hear it. I've showed you guys this before. This print is so thick. I'm glad I don't run anymore. I mean, I jog a little bit, but I never used to like to run in printed tees because I imagined that it would produce more chafing, if you will. Those who, YK, if you know, you know. But it says the best show on the flat earth. And I wish that it were matte. Show Sugino, can you send me one that's in matte finish? Because it's way too glossy. It just shows all the wrinkles in my shirt. But it has a rectangular image with a perfect photograph, not photoshopped, by the way. Or it might be. I don't know. Don't listen to Hake. And a beautiful moon over here, over the beautiful flat Earth. And it's a disc. And here's these ice walls are Antarctica, protecting us from falling off the side of the end of the Earth. Very nice. And it says the best show on the flat Earth. Very nice. I feel like I should slouch so you guys don't detect any shininess. So Show Sugino, if you can make a matte finish of this, I'll wear it too. Just side note. Anyway, whatever. It's not important. Let me start off with a caller here, everybody, because we have a Florida caller, and we're curious what's going on in Florida. How are you doing, David in Ocala? What's up?
Hey, thanks for taking my call this early, man.
Yeah, of course. It. Yeah, well, thank you for calling.
Well, I wanted to call you and thank you, man, for because when I called and I asked y'all to pray for those people, it worked out like to the best of everything, because it went 60 miles south of Tampa into Sarasota.
Okay.
And that's exact. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And you're talking about the hurricane.
Yeah. What happened was, man, about a couple of hours, you can go watch the track of that storm. About a couple hours after I got off the phone with you, about a third of it went over the Yucatan Peninsula, and it tried to drag it in, and it tried to pull it in. You can see it loops, man. It took a turn right to the peninsula that I did, and it tried to pull it in, and it couldn't, because there was no way. It wasn't on enough land, plus that Gulf Stream. So it let it loose, and that's really what kept it from getting to the Gulf Stream quicker. And and it probably would have went in around Tampa or above if that wouldn't happen. And it was almost like if you go look at that, when you got time, just look at the track when it was above the Yucatan for that time it was.
Uh-huh.
It's just, you can see where it tried to pull it in, man. And that's what saved a bunch of people's, because if it would have came into Tampa, it really would have caused so much more damage than it did.
Is that because of the higher population?
Yeah, and just all the boats and just the marinas and just everything that's up in there.
Yeah.
The big problem, though, with the storm was there was like 38 tornadoes around Fort Lauderdale, the Everglades area. Florida I can't ever remember seeing tornadoes as big as these tornadoes were.
That's so interesting to me. I used to think that tornadoes and hurricanes were the same thing, but hurricanes were tornadoes on the water. But hurricanes are much, much bigger than tornadoes, huh? They produce tornadoes, I guess.
Yeah, and people film this stuff, and they've already put it on YouTube. And there's this guy filming. He's in a mobile home, and he just opens up his door and looks out, and here's this tornado coming, and it just rips his roof off. Luckily, it didn't destroy his house and kill him.
Yeah, seriously. I learned about tornadoes from the what's that one with I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. The Yellow Brick Road and
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz. And so I picture cows being swept around, and houses being picked up and dropped, and cars being picked up and thrown in places. And there's like they said, there's debris that from the prior hurricane that could be thrown and impale people and kill them and damage their homes and stuff. So it's pretty wild. Wind.
Yeah.
Who knew?
What's really wild is these people want to build these expensive houses out on the shore of Florida, okay?
Uh-huh.
And now people like me that live inland got to pay for their freaking homeowners insurance or help out, because my homeowners insurance doubled last year.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're blaming the people who are buying up the land. Oh, interesting. Wow.
No, it's got to affect. There's no way. My homeowner's insurance went from $1,500 to $3,000 in 1 year.
That's wild. I think that they might be using. I mean, part of that is inflation.
Right.
Part of that is the climate change hype. They're saying that they're scaremongering about climate change in order to control the people and and encourage them to turn their lives over to globalist socialism, And so they're saying, climate change is destroying properties, so you are living in a high climate change risk area, and you're rich enough to pay for it. We need this. So it's a whole bunch of redistribution of wealth. Scam.
Oh, sure. It's the biggest grift ever, man. I mean,
actually,
John Kerry
it's not even
bull crap.
Yeah. It's not even redistributing it. It's just destroying people's wealth, really, because they're giving it to the government, which produces nothing of value, pretty much, and they're giving it to bums, useless bums, worthless bums. Shout out to the worthless bums. Hey, I am not immune, but who don't
Shout
do
out
it.
To the worthless bums.
Who don't do anything good with the money. They don't become more valuable and contributors to society and stuff like that.
No, they're giving our money. They should be getting them people off the streets in Oakland, but they're giving the money to these illegals just walking in. And, man, I'm telling you, there's a lot of people upset about this. And I got a feeling, I think, to be honest with you, there's no way that they can win, the Dems can win this election legit. I just cannot see it. I mean, there's so many angry people across this country about the way this country's being run. But anyway, you brought up that Doug Emhoff, Harris's husband. Yesterday.
Yeah, yep.
That guy is so weak. And let me tell you why he's weak, because he married her.
Yeah.
So could you imagine waking up in the morning to that voice?
Ooh.
I mean, I would lose first off, that kind of woman, when if I approached her, I'd know in 5 seconds I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay? It's just too much to deal with, okay? And men a real man doesn't want to deal with a woman like her. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to put up with that crap.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I wrote this down, because she controls the relationship. She controls that woman controls that household.
She's the third. She's Momala.
Momala.
Yeah.
Right. Saturday Night Live does a great job on mimicking her. You know what I'm saying? That I forget the actress's name, but she does a great job on that.
With her squeaky. I don't know. Her voice is not bad in little bits. Don't talk more than 2 minutes. Somebody said I can't take more than 2 minutes of her.
I had to take my wife to work this morning.
Yeah.
I was listening to the news, and as soon as Obama came on the radio, I turned the radio off. Don't want to hear a thing he's got to say.
Right.
His voice drives me crazy too. So those two. But I thought about this yesterday. Biden, because they've interviewed Biden and stuff in the last bit. Biden is like that convict that's got like 29 felonies, and he's standing in front of the judge, and he tells the judge he's innocent.
Wow. Yeah.
Think about that.
That's funny.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Biden, what a mess. These shameless people. They don't mind lying. That's for sure.
Well, how about that mayor? You brought that mayor up in Chicago comparing whatever's going on with the teachers union to slavery.
Right. Yeah, Mayor Brandon Johnson of known to be corrupt Chicago. Probably more corrupt today than it ever has been, by the way.
Right, riding that race train with the teachers union. Oh yeah, that's how it was when slavery was over with. That's all they got. That's all they got anymore, man. They can't. If it wasn't for affirmative action and all that stuff, now with the DEI stuff, these people wouldn't be. They wouldn't have any of this stuff to work with. They wouldn't. That guy wouldn't be the mayor of Chicago.
That's a good point.
He might. I don't know. He doesn't seem qualified.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He seems like a propagandist, and a pretty shameless one. Pretty nakedly propagandizing. Shameful, man.
What do you think about the mayor of New York? I mean, they're coming after that guy. And listen, even though I'm a registered Republican, and he's a Democrat, I feel bad for him because I know why they're coming after him, because he says y'all are going to destroy our city by bringing in all these illegals. He fought them off, and they said, okay, now we're going to take you down. You
think that's why they're going after him?
Sure.
They might. It might be. It might just be that corrupt. I can't tell you that it's not the case, and I can't really even poo-poo it. They're going after him for some foreign thing or something like that. And, a lot of times politicians don't know what they're doing. This guy's a former cop. I don't know. It's...
Well, this is how corrupt it could be. They say that Sean Combs, because that's what you like to call him, Sean Combs, went to sue this company, okay, for millions and millions of dollars. And those people are connected and stuff. And they said, okay, you want to play with the big boys? We'll just take you out.
Whoa.
Think about that.
It's definitely possible. I remember it was very fishy when Obama administration, DOJ, whatever, Federal Election Commission, whatever it was, went after Dinesh D'Souza and Joe Arpaio and tried to make Joe Arpaio out to be a criminal when they're the criminals.
Right,
I saw this rich, you remind me of something. I saw this really rich statement that, let me share it with you guys. I read it on Commie Nonsense Network, and I didn't get to read it on the show today, but there was something from Hake News that I didn't get to. And this it was the so-called top cop of America. This guy who's not a Christian, by the way, talking about this company this bank that took, no, not FEMA. Oh, today's quote: by making its services convenient for criminals, it became one. What does that remind you of? By making its services convenient for criminals, it became one.
The government, the legislators.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. But that was with the deal where you got to steal more than $900 for it to be a felony offense or whatever the deal is. So now they're just going into Walgreens and CVS's, and it's called what is it? Order out of chaos, man. I mean, they want this, okay? But let me tell you what that's from. That's a rich quote, and that's what you think of, right? The government enabling criminals, making their services convenient for criminals. That's a quote from the Attorney General, the Biden-Obama Kamala Attorney General Merrick Garland, commenting at a news conference on Thursday, after TD Bank was hit with a record $3 billion fine over drug cartel money laundering. So it's the government pretending like they're enforcing the law all of a sudden against TD Bank.
Right, when they let them all in.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
And they're getting greased. I mean, some of you, why do you think they give all this money away to these people, like Lebanon or whatever? I mean, they're getting kickbacks, buddy. There's just no...
Oh, you think so?
Sure. Dude, it was in the car business. This is what they used to do. They say, hey, listen, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell you this $10,500 car for $10,000, and you give me $500, and it's your car.
That's
manager.
Funny.
Okay, you got what I'm saying? Wholesaling the car to a wholesaler.
Yeah.
Okay. So if they do it in the car business,
wow,
they're going to do it in the government. You
right.
know what I mean? I mean that. I'm saying man's mind is that wicked.
Oh yeah, it totally is. Yeah. These people are just shameless hypocrites, and calling them hypocrites doesn't do anything because they're just evil. That's their job to be evil. And they're talking about transactions in this article went unmonitored. You know what else is unmonitored? Basically,
what's that?
The borders. The border is basically unmonitored. You know how many? There's a lot of gotaways. They're not monitored. They call them undocumented. Those people are undocumented. There's plenty of who are documented, but they call them undocumented. They're documented. They're either fraudulently documented or they know that they're here and they let them stay here. And then there's a whole lot who sneak in undetected. Or there's a whole lot of people who overstay their visa. Where's the monitoring on them? There is no enforcement.
Because they don't care, man, because they don't prosecute them, too. I told you this before. Get in a car accident with one of them jokers. They got no insurance and blah, blah, blah. They don't do nothing. You hear what I'm saying. So I just want to say one more thing about the hurricane thing and one other thing, and I'll get off the phone with you. The people, there was a lot of people lost their electricity, man. They won't probably have their electricity on for weeks down there. The blessing is that cold front came through, so it's going to be like in the 80s at most places, and at night it's going to get down to like 60 and stuff. So that's going to help them out. I got a buddy of mine that just contacted me. He lived in Orlando. He said he got 90-mile-an-hour winds. It was freaking him out. But he didn't even lose electricity with 90-mile-an-hour winds.
Nice.
So well, it was the gust. Okay, so the winds were probably about 65, and then coming in with 85-mile-an-hour gusts. But that's enough, So,
Wow. Yeah, nice, man.
And then one other thing. I wrote this down. Why do you think old men like me, old men in the old days wanted to keep women out of the government? You know what I'm saying? They didn't want women in our government. Remember that?
I do remember that. We were smarter than that in the olden days.
Yeah. And see,
even to this day, there's people who are smarter than that. But no, there's like this culture of kissing up.
Yeah. Right, I'm smarter than that. So now what you got AOC, you got The View, you got Michelle Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Liz Cheney, okay, and all these kind of people on the sideline like Oprah and Ellen and Rosie O'Donnell and stuff like that, man. And you can't tell me that those people aren't nothing but a hot mess.
Yeah, that's so true, man. I love Caitlin Clark. I was thinking about Caitlin Clark this morning. She said she refused to go on The View reportedly, and I thought that I heard that she said, "I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that show." Isn't that nice?
Not. Yeah.
So I'm not really
negative.
I'm not really a fan of the WNBA, but I appreciate her because she's like a fairly classy young lady, right? And at least she presents herself that way so far, and that's fair because The View it's fun to mock them and laugh at them and be fake outraged over the ridiculous things that they say. Mm-hmm. But they are a picture of how a lot of people suckers think. So it's a mess, like you said.
I just saw a clip from The View. Okay, it had Billy D. Williams on there. I'm pretty sure that's his name. He's an old actor from they started in the late '60s, early '70s.
Oh.
Real ladies man. Okay, so he's on there. He's old now. He's like 80 something or whatever. And the first thing Sonny Houston goes to is, when you originally got into into acting and everything, were they all racist and did they treat it's always gunning for the racist thing. That's all they got.
And this man is 87 years old. This William December Williams Jr. Billy D. Williams.
Billy D.
And he's asking
a stud, man.
A dignified 87-year-old black man, sort of light skinned, has to deal with that. I mean, he didn't have to, but
is that what it says on the article?
No, I'm just saying he's 87 years old. I'm asking the question.
Yeah, he had to deal with Sonny. Okay, he had to deal with her and her races. And you know what's so hilarious is when she found out that her ancestors were slave owners.
Oh yeah, nice.
I mean, that's priceless.
Right.
Anyway, hey,
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Seinfeld. Yeah, with the cave. There's nothing wrong. There's not anything wrong with that.
Exactly.
Hey,
thank you, man.
Thanks for having me on, man. Have a great show, okay?
All right.
And,
take care.
And everybody out there, hey, thanks for your prayers for Florida. Take it easy.
Right on, man.
All right.
Bye. Manuel in Fresno, California is on the line here. Manuel, thanks for calling and holding, man. What's up?
How you doing, Hank?
Doing fine. How are you?
Doing well.
Cool.
I was surprised you read that coffee on Jesse's show, the R word.
I know. I'll put JLP's show at risk, but not mine. That's funny. I didn't mean to put it at risk, by the way.
I couldn't stop laughing when you said that earlier in the show. I was like, wow, Jesse, you're wild.
Well, I feel a little bit at liberty to say the R word, arted rete, because Jesse says it. Jesse says it, and he doesn't know that. I mean, he's not thinking. They've turned every good, fair, fine word into some bad word. It's a shame.
Yeah, that's like my favorite word too. I'll use that for everything.
That's funny.
You don't check your Instagram that much?
I don't. Did you send something or you tagged me on something?
I sent you I sent you a video of Joel, so when you get a chance, you should check that out.
Right on. I shall.
Yeah, if you laugh, if you don't laugh, I'll donate. I'll make a bet with you. I'll do $100 bet if you don't laugh.
Wow. All right. Sounds good. I like it.
So Jaime, I think it was yesterday, was talking about the union,
Yeah.
about how they don't have illegals in the union.
Oh, yeah. Right. If you want quality work, he said, do union work. If you don't want quality, if you want it cheap, hire the private businesses that hire illegals.
Yeah, I understand that concept. I don't agree to it. I'm different. I'm in California, so I don't believe in the unions at all.
Yeah, me either.
I don't feel like they have their best interest for you. Plus, they're lazier. They're not as hardworking because they're used to having like these laws behind them. Like I've told you,
Right.
if it's over 100 degrees, they want to take a break. You know, like every hour they get a 10-minute break if it's over 100 degrees. They play those labor laws like crazy. So you're not getting quality work, in my mind. But anyways, my neighbor next door to me is illegal.
Okay.
And he's in the electrical union. He's been in the electrical union for 2 years. So I know there's illegals in there because no company's going to snitch on themselves, be like, oh, yeah, we hire illegals. No one would do that, you know?
Yeah.
Which I'm sure he doesn't. I'm not saying he's lying. I'm sure he's accurate on a lot of what he says, too, plus the quality thing, but just, you know, different states, different things.
Totally true. And it's like a false dilemma between two bad things, you know? And I get that the non-illegal, I mean, the private, it's evil versus evil. He's giving me like a false dilemma. I mean, it's kind of a real dilemma because I bet you in some places it is like that. I heard somebody actually over here confirm that in the construction trades where he's from, or what he's seeing is that it's unions do the higher quality work, and then it's the illegals. But that doesn't justify unions, because unions didn't even have to exist in the first place, and we should enforce the law on the illegal aliens and not impose on private businesses with this.
That's my whole thing with the good.
What's the power of unions? Does the government back them or something? Like, how do they?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
To me, the union is just another arm of the government.
Yeah.
It's just that instead of the government walking into your business and saying, this is how we're going to do things now, instead they just get little representatives that side with them to go after companies that don't follow labor laws.
Yeah.
That they feel is up to code.
Yep.
It's like the government when they bought out GM or the airline, they were private companies at one point.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden they get bought out, and then they have to abide by governmental law.
Yeah.
That's why like this whole DEI thing is big now, because they bought out major corporations with bailouts, and they have to abide by the rules of the government because it's their money, their rules. And I just feel the union's just another little inch in to get in. Like the biggest welding union is 798, and they were the ones running the Keystone Pipeline. And I couldn't believe that they voted with the Democrats to shut down the Keystone Pipeline. That makes no sense, not to shut it down, but they voted for the Democrats, and then they did that.
Yeah, true.
To think about it, the biggest welding union to vote against the biggest job for themselves, the government had to be involved for that.
Wow. You know, they're such wolves in sheep's clothing. Because you probably know a lot of guys who've worked for unions, and I know a lot of guys who worked for unions who like us, who believe in, America. But some of them either agree with us, but they're in unions. They can't help it. Like teachers' unions. I don't even think you have a choice in California. If you're a teacher, if you're a public school teacher, you have to pay into the evil teachers' union. It's ridiculous. So my,
Yeah.
I know people, some of my friends they don't support the Democrats, but they work as a teacher, and so they have to be in these unions. But there's such wolves in sheep's clothing that there's decent people who are brainwashed by the good pay they get and the cushy things and all these different deals that they make. There's other ways to make deals and protect yourself and have a good job and have a good life other than unions. But people are so used to unions. It's kind of like Social Security and all that stuff. It was a scam.
No, Social Security. That's your main concept of the union. So when I was working, I was non-union.
Yeah.
In the welding.
Nice.
So I have to take care of my own medical, and I have to take care of my own retirement. A lot of those guys don't want to have to deal with that. They want to just have someone else take care of that for them.
Right.
I don't got to worry about my retirement, my medical. I don't even have to look for a job. They just call me and tell me, hey, we got this job lined up for you here or this company there, and you go work there. Like me, I'd run around and in like a year, I'd have like 5 different companies I work for. But it's just part of, the work. I'm chasing work. I don't really need someone to go find me work.
Right.
Like, you're not going to pay me to go find you someone to interview on your show. You just do it on your own. You know what it is to market and all that. So to me, it makes no sense to find someone to do your job for you.
Yeah.
But that's just how a lot of people are. It's easier that way. I don't have to work. I just show up and you guys take care of this all. Cool.
Yep.
I get it. Some people, it's easier that way.
I do, too.
I have nothing against the union. I don't like abiding by those laws and rules. Like, if I want to quit because it's Tuesday, see ya. I'm out.
Yeah. Nice. Independence is far better, but people don't want that independence. It used to be that America was a tough life. I mean, you had to, you weren't guaranteed this, social safety net. So a lot of immigrants, I heard, would come here and, the land of opportunity, but they would go back because it was too tough. They couldn't make it. And that's what it should be. But instead we have this social safety net and people are very well to do. It's very easy to make a lot of money. And there's all of this catering to people who aren't actually producing much good at all. Or they're producing no
Even
good.
like my situation.
What's that?
I'm in a wheelchair. Even like my situation, I'm in a wheelchair, but I'm not over here getting Medi-Cal, disability. I get disability, but it's only $800 a month.
Yeah.
But, whatever. I pay my taxes, so screw you guys. I'll take it back.
Right.
But I have my own companies I run, and I paid my taxes. Like, those people suing LA Fitness, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I was thinking about you, and I saw your super chat on the Jason Lee Peterson show. We covered a story of LA Fitness. JLP did. LA Fitness is getting sued by the evil DOJ, and these crybaby, as you called them, cripples, who are saying, oh, a paraplegic got into the swimming pool and had to struggle up the steps to get out because, the chair thing lift, I guess, didn't work. And they didn't help us, and it's not wheelchair accessible. Think about all these companies that have to do all this stuff to cater to you. And, oh, by the way, you charge us extra because we need an assistant. Imagine if every person needed an assistant. You know how much money you'd be blowing? That's crazy. Of course you need to pay a little bit more because your life requires more. This equality stuff is a lie.
Yeah, welcome to reality. Like, look, my daughter's 11 years old and knows that I am not equal to anybody. Like, she understands that. Not that I'm in a wheelchair, it's just that we're all individuals and none of us are equal.
Yeah, right.
And I always tell her, like, look at me. People treat me as if I have more power or more whatever above them, and I'm not even as equal to them.
Right.
That's not fair. That's not reality. Reality is deal with it or cry about it and suffer at home.
Yeah.
No one wants to suffer through anything anymore.
Very true. And and they're stealing the goodwill of people because normally there's oftentimes going to be someone who is eager to help you out if you need help. But
Oh yeah.
but when everybody's on welfare and everybody's catered to, and by force, you're forcing these companies to cater to you and build all this extra stuff for you, you're just stealing that's called grace robbery, I've heard it called. You're robbing people's opportunity to be gracious to you because you're getting the government to bully the people, the businesses.
There's people that are like, in my situation, they're like entitled, and then you take the grace of others, and it ends up giving everyone a bad taste down the road. Like,
For sure.
They just expect that.
Yep.
Like, I tell my mom I'm going down to that church. I'm going to go next week for sure. For sure, I'm going.
Oh, right on. Cool.
She's always like, "You're going to go there? How are you going to get gas?" And I'm always the same concept. I use my disability too. I'm pretty sure, probably 90% sure, really, that if I go down there, someone's going to see me in a wheelchair, and I say, "Hey, can you go with me to the gas station real quick just to fill up my tank?" I guarantee you, someone will look at me knowing I'm in a wheelchair and be like, "Yeah, I'll do that."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get grace from people.
Yep.
And people take advantage of that. I don't want to, but I will when I need to.
Yeah. Exactly.
I started looking up gyms after that report you guys read.
Yeah.
And I looked at disability gyms in LA, and there's a bunch of them. So those little crybabies could have just went to one of those.
Right. And a lot of us, we can work out from home. You can go to the park and exercise. There's all kinds of things that you can do. There's probably like I don't know if the YMCAs are closing. Never mind. But there's like old people gyms and all kinds of stuff.
There's one in LA called Adaptive Fitness. They're specialized in people with disabilities. Like, there's a couple of them here where I live in Fresno, like 3 or 4 different adaptive gyms.
Yeah.
There's places they could go. It's just, they don't. I do this too sometimes, so I'm guilty of it. They don't want to be around their own kind.
Right.
So they'd rather go somewhere else where there's normal people, so they feel like they're normal.
Yeah.
Because that's my biggest thing is I get tired of people treating me like I'm disabled.
Right.
I want to be treated like normal, like pick on me, call me the R word, but no one really wants to.
True.
It's kind of awkward.
Yeah, because people are emotional, and that emotion is fake. It's not. It's a false guilt, and it just makes stuff worse rather than just being normal.
I went to the bank the other day with my buddy Tino, and so I'm pulling out my card to get it out, and it's like kind of hard for me to do it. And the teller's like looking at Tino, and she's like, "Aren't you going to help him?" And all he said is like, "He ain't retarded. He'll be all right." And the bank teller just stood there like wouldn't say a thing.
Right.
Just like in shock.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. I just kept laughing. Anyways, one more thing, and I'll let you go.
Okay.
This is years ago, probably about 10 years ago. Wow. I got a job offer to go to Antarctica and work for a welding job. I'm pretty sure it was like 2 months on, 1 month off. But how people always say you can't go to Antarctica. I don't know if it's true, but I got a job offer to go down there and an interview and all that. I just couldn't do it because of my kid and timing. It just wouldn't have worked out.
Yeah.
But I wish I would have took that job to say, like, yeah, you can go to Antarctica.
And yes, it is a ball Earth, not a flat Earth, like my shirt says.
Yeah. Oh, dude. One more thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
I used to work for this guy in the welding field, and he believed that the world was flat. There was an ice wall, and the reptilians lived on the outside of the ice wall. And that I can't remember what it is. The National Guard goes over there and blocks them from climbing over the ice wall. And we would sit there for hours listening to this dude talk. And I'd just be like, wow, I can't believe I work for this guy. This dude is crazy.
Oh, wow. So this is an employer.
Yeah, this is my boss.
That's awesome.
See? Signed my check. I'm like, whoa.
Flat earthers are functional R words.
Yeah. He would
Shut up.
donate like thousands of dollars to this organization about exploring the ice wall. He was like, yeah, I donated like $1,000 to $5,000 a month to them. I'm like, dude, I just need to make a fake organization. I guarantee you'll donate money to me.
Yeah, true. I know. There's different niches where people will get excited and follow you. Say if you talk about the Jews a lot, you'll get so much excitement and and sometimes support from those people.
You can just start up a page of just making up random conspiracy theories that have no basis in reality, and someone will believe it.
That's true. Yeah. No, the mind is crazy. I've witnessed it, even from the beautiful snake pit. They'll believe it.
All righty. You guys have a good weekend. Appreciate everything you guys do, and I'll catch you next week, hopefully.
Thank you, Manuel, in Fresno, California. Take care.
See you.
Bye. I forgot my little mic. The Hake mic. Hope I don't get in trouble. I think I might have kicked the thing. Don't tell anybody I kicked the tripod. That's okay. It's just the Hake view. It's just the Hake couch view. Wow. What a mess. A shout out, by the way, to Terry. Terry loved that call. Man. Real quick, before I get back to calls, let me play this little clip of Obama. Hopefully he doesn't cuss. He doesn't normally cuss, does he? Barack Obama, let the illegal transgenders in, Obama. Crazy. Simping for Kamala with the brothas. This is a mess. Let me turn down the volume a little bit. This was from, what a fraud, said somebody tagging Hake. See, somebody tagged Hake and stuff. And so this is from Breaking 911. Watch, Obama tells young black men, and this may be a sort of caricature of what really happened, that they're the reason Kamala is not as popular as he was. Look at it. Look at his, just being all suave with his hands in his pockets and his not wearing a tie. Look at him. Just looking at him, you can see why he's more popular than cackling Kamala Lamo. That seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. Okay, here's Obama. Hopefully this is not going to blast you guys' ears out.
Communities is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers.
Lord, you don't talk like that.
So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly.
Y'all. Mister, I was born in wherever he was born. Oh, pardon me. Where did I go? Look at that hair. Look at that hair. The world. What are we looking at? Shout out to the blacks with hair like this. I know blacks with hair like this. Look at him. You see him? Hold on. Complicated business.
Of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running.
Okay.
And say that when you have a choice that is this clear.
Yeah, it's a clear choice. Trump. Sorry about that.
On one hand, you have somebody who
best president ever.
Grew up like you, knows you.
Trump, working.
Went to college with you.
Lord, she did not.
Understands the struggles and
Trump
pain and joy that comes from those experiences. Who's had to work harder and do more and overcome.
Trump. Sorry about that.
And achieves the second highest office in the land.
Oh, please. Oh, Lord.
Communities.
Anyway, that's enough of Obama. He's lame. Where's my spittoon? He doesn't even believe that. Pooh! I was thinking about cackling lame-o Kamala Harris. Shout out to Madman. It's the real Mr. Mad. I was thinking about cackling lame-o Kamala Harris being on the phone, purportedly, right? I saw this photograph of lame, evil, ridiculous Kamala Harris on the phone, supposedly after they won. We did it, Joe. You did not do it. The mainstream media, the social media, the post office, and everybody who's in the deep state, if you will, the establishment that's against Trump. Think about it. The executive branch is supposed to be the president. But the president has a whole lot of people working for him now with these bureaucracies. And they're not working, they were not working for Trump, they were working against him. Including those lame, ridiculous generals. We did it, Joe. Shut up. Hake, that was a good impression of Harris. What's up, Charlie Chutch? As Nick the Anchor Baby Cat says. What's up, Misfit Nation? Somebody tagging Misfit Nation. Must be in the chat. What's up, Sion? Frederica? What's up, Jesse Lee? What's up, Rhodesian Ridgeback?
Jesse's pushing me on. How you doing, sir?
Good to see you, man.
How you doing?
Doing fine.
I've been enjoying the Hake report.
Right on. Appreciate it.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Are you getting excited?
I'm getting pumped.
Have a seat.
We're gonna re-elect our greatest president.
Have a seat for me.
Maybe.
Okay. Hey, how's it going?
It's the Rhodesian Ridgeback. We're done with cackling, Kamala.
Sorry.
Hey, let me find how to. Oh, can you turn on your? Oh, that either one.
Where do you want me to
Let's see. Supersource. I don't know how to do this stuff. Nick the Anchor Baby is gonna help us out. Do you know how to turn on his? It might not be. It might
Can
be
you
on.
hear
It might
me?
not be on. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Nice. I think it's working. What's up, man?
That's what she said.
This is this is Justin from Rhodesia.
The Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Yeah. I
How's it
looked that
going?
up, and that's a dog.
It's a beautiful dog, and they were actually bred to hunt lions. They would have about 4 to 6 of them in a pack, and they would protect, people's homes from lions, hyenas, leopard. They're huge dogs. I mean, they're about 120 pounds.
Wow.
On average,
I
yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah, a little smaller than a Great Dane, but way more muscular, more dense. Yeah.
Dang. And Great Danes are nothing to sneeze at either.
Yeah, but they're not fighting dogs.
Yeah.
What were they bred for, Great Danes?
Just being lanky and awesome.
And they don't live very long.
Racing, maybe?
They have major hip displacement, dysplasia.
Oh, wow. And so the Rhodesian Ridgebacks, see these, Rhodesians is the white country. Does it predate South Africa?
Yeah, it does. So it was Cecil John Rhodes, the Queen's, probably her #1 explorer, Cecil John Rhodes. And he actually, I hope I don't get this wrong, he actually settled in South Africa, in Cape Town. And then the Dutch came in and said, get out. And they had the Boer War.
Wow.
And so Rhodes was forced north with his ox and his ox cart and formed Rhodesia.
Okay.
After himself, Cecil
Yeah.
John Rhodes. So Rhodesia was formed. It was a English colony. And then our very great Prime Minister, Ian Smith, who was a war hero, he was a fighting ace for the British in the Second World War. He was our Prime Minister, but didn't get along with the Queen because she put too much restrictions on him. So unilateral Declaration of Independence, 1965. We, like you guys in America, we had our independence in 1965.
Oh, independence from the crown.
Yep, from
Nice,
the crown.
from England.
And we had, the most tobacco, tea, and coffee export, and gold. So we were a powerhouse. We were actually called the bread basket of Africa.
Whoa.
We fed the whole of Africa. I think behind Brazil, we were number 2 with tea, tobacco, and coffee.
And now it's Zimbabwe, and they're like begging the white farmers to come back.
Yeah, so they started murdering us in our beds in 1968, and we asked the terrorists, the Turks we called them, communists back, Korea, Russia, and they said they wanted the country back. And we said, well, we've been here for 200 years. We've built everything. It would be like the Indians wanting America back.
Yeah.
So we said no, and we had a guerrilla warfare. We were backed by England and America, and we had the Rhodesian War from 69 to 1980. And they were led by Robert Mugabe, who became one of the worst dictators.
Oh, I remember that name.
Yeah. So Jimmy Carter said, give it to Robert Mugabe. We said he's a terrorist, he's a communist.
Yeah.
He's murdered, 100,000 civilians.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Carter and Margaret Thatcher said, nope. And they sailed us down the river.
Wow, Margaret Thatcher did that?
Yeah. And we like Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
But she backed Jimmy, and they sailed us down the river. So we actually said no, and they cut off our tea, tobacco, fuel, ammo, and we basically had to surrender. In April 1981, we handed over the country to Robert Mugabe.
Dang, so Zimbabwe is my age.
So that was a quick history lesson.
Yeah, thank you
very
for the history.
intense.
Yeah.
Compact.
That's awesome.
And then he destroyed the country. But it boomed in the 80s because the whole world gave us billions and billions and billions.
Oh, yeah.
America and, all of Europe. The whole world just gave us billions. But it was like a beautiful green apple rotting from the inside out.
Yeah.
So the corruption was insane. And he hired all his cronies, much like what's going on here.
Yeah.
And so everything that happened in Zimbabwe is happening here in America right now.
Dang.
Because I saw it happen firsthand.
Right.
And I've seen it. And in my wildest dreams, I would have never said it would happen in the United States of America.
But it's doing it.
And it's all the same. Inflation, corruption.
Brainwashed populace.
Yep. We had open borders, brainwashed media, because they controlled the media.
Yeah.
And they rigged every election.
Dang. That doesn't happen here, though.
No, it would never happen in America. It's outrageous.
Wow.
So it's kind of scary. I mean, if you had told me when I came here 20 years ago that would happen here in America, I would have laughed at you. But 10 years ago, I won't mention who was leading the country.
Obama.
I said, it's going to happen here. And people laughed at me every day. They're like, you crazy, you paranoid. I'm like, okay. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. So this is like a nightmare.
Yeah,
It really
sure
is a nightmare.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. God help
There's
us.
going to be decent men like Trump.
Yeah.
But I think overall the directions
Elon.
You can't stop it.
Well, that's a terrible. Yeah, I hope you're wrong.
It's the way of the world, though. Evil tends to.
New World Order.
Yeah.
Evil hate good.
Have you judged anybody lately?
Jesse asked me to stop judging people. What was it? Thoughts?
Don't judge in thoughts, feelings, looks, words, or action.
Don't judge in appearance. What? Thoughts, words, looks, actions, or anything.
That would be beautiful. So I tried it yesterday and I lasted 2 hours, Hake.
Wow.
2 hours.
Dang.
And then
that's pretty good.
I saw this homeless guy.
Are you sure you lasted 2 hours?
I did, because I was like, and then I just fell apart.
Yeah.
The hate just came roaring out.
Yeah.
The anger. I'm like, look at this fat pig. And all the stress came back.
That's pretty funny.
2 hours. But I'm going to try it every day. I have to try it every day.
Yeah.
With the silent prayer. Because the silent prayer kind of goes hand in hand with that.
Yeah, it's like a daily reminder. Because you just have to remember the basics.
Yeah. But we are at war right now with what's going on in the world and the country.
That's true.
And it's hard not to look at like what's going on in the South and
What was it like not judging for 2 hours?
peaceful. I had peace.
What was it like not judging for 2 hours? Peaceful. Nice. And that's
be nice. It would be.
That's the reason. That's probably the reason why there's what's going on, the revolution going on, because people are judging.
And overreacting.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Those of us who are on this side can see what's going on. We're overreacting.
Yeah.
Or underreacting, I heard
Yeah.
Jesse say one time.
The problem I have with Christianity, and I love Christianity, I'm trying to be a Christian, is the whole turn the other cheek thing.
Right. Because people misunderstand what that means.
Because I don't want to be weak.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of run out of Zimbabwe, then we were run out of South Africa in a way.
Right.
And then it's like, are we going to run here?
Gonna get run out of the world.
Jesse left the room. You know, isn't that
There's
a
right
great
and wrong way
question,
to do
though?
it. Yeah, of course. Satan, I think, will get into people's imaginations and throw away Christianity for that reason.
It's true.
Or they'll get into the imaginations and turn Christianity liberal.
Yeah. Like they have the gays in the churches now.
Right. Because that's about insults. That's not about defending yourself.
Yeah.
Somebody smacks you on the cheek, that's a public insult. That's not a pushing you out of your country or your house.
Yeah.
And that's a totally different situation.
Which one's easier to deal with, though?
Uh,
Because if someone's slapping me,
I know.
they're going to lose their teeth.
Right.
They're going to be looking for their teeth for 10 minutes.
They'll swallow them.
What about you, Nick?
I don't know. Just find out.
Nick's thinking about it. Yeah, and the sheriff wouldn't take that either.
Yeah, Sheriff
Clark.
David Clark.
What a great man.
Yeah. They got
Well, I
rid of
didn't
him.
mean to interrupt. But I just wanted to have that. I wanted to ask you, you know, how we going to deal with these things.
We'll
Trying to be Christians, but I don't want to be apathetic. Yeah.
I have a caller who has a question for you. Do you want to take a call?
Yeah, sure.
Put on these headphones behind you. Those will work. Any of them will work.
Yeah. Okay.
I have Frederick in Los Angeles who is on the line. That one may work because it's
It's
looser.
longer.
Frederick in LA, line 4. Frederick, how are you doing, man?
Good morning. How's it going, Hake?
Going well. You're live with Justin, the Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Hello there, Justin.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. Last time you was on, you spoke about, I don't know, maybe when you was younger, you might have went to some of these wild parties,
Oh yes, yeah.
like Diddy parties.
There weren't
Did you
Diddy
ever see
parties,
any
but
of
they
the
were
elite.
they were very reminiscent of those parties.
He said it was very reminiscent. Where was it here? Like in Hollywood, were there elites, or were there like famous people?
Wealthy elite people, not famous people. Yeah, well, there was a couple with some pro athletes from baseball, but yeah, it was pretty
Right. And them
eye-opening.
groups, yeah, that stuff really fascinating because every time, like it seemed like Diddy woke up and he started to speak out about the problems he was having, like Kanye's having about getting his own ownership. And every time somebody speak out, they go way back and then they start undoing these laws in New York that allows people statute of limitations to run out, and then they just sweep you under the rug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it seems like that's what's happening, but it seems like you have inside information, and I was just wanting to know if you
I
ever
wish
seen
I did.
anything that went on, or like, who are these people? Like, I thought the Illuminati was fake. I've been telling everybody, they be talking about it like since Tupac was alive. Like, come on, man.
Well-
These people be known, skulls and bones. They got these little groups, but if I was just wanting to know if you ever seen any wild, crazy.
Well, I think we all have seen some wild stuff, and
Yeah.
No, if we're not in them circles or got no money, like we don't get invited to no Diddy parties or no
Well,
stuff like that. Like,
I don't think it's a class thing. I think people get wild on every
Oh, yeah.
demographic and every class level. So, but I think
That's not
back in
good.
the day, there's always been
Right.
wild parties. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I know. I'm in LA. I'm out here. I'm out here. We need to party. I be trying to get the Anchor Baby and Joel to go out with me, but I don't want to get caught up in them rooms. But I would just want to know your take on what you think about the situation going on with him.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to get exposed, and I think I think a lot of people have lived that lifestyle, but now they said 2024 is the year of exposing people.
That's
So
bad. What
we'll
is the
see.
future going to hold? Anybody that ever wants money is going to want to party, and now there's going to be NDAs and lawsuits and
Yeah.
cameras, and like,
I-
how can you have fun without being?
I think
Me and
Diddy
Nick
had
were talking
NDAs,
about
so.
this. Like, you can't
What's
even
that?
have.
He had NDAs.
Yeah,
Did
NDAs don't work.
They're not bulletproof.
Yep.
It's like a bulletproof vest. You
See?
can still get shot.
Yeah.
If they want you, they're going to get you, huh?
Yep.
And it's interesting because nobody's innocent. None of those
Adam
people are innocent.
22's innocent. He has a whole. No, I'm not gonna bring up anybody, but it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It seems like it's certain ways for certain people, certain ways for others. I don't know.
That's the way of the world. It's never equal.
We got to make these people accountable. So
That's what I want you to do. I want you to hold these people accountable. You
Rika.
can be Ridgeback. You could be having a class. This. I don't know.
Thank
I
you,
think we
Rick.
should
need to
make the
expose
ankle
these
baby
people.
the
We need to
executioner.
expose these people.
It'll be tough.
Yeah, expose them. All right, have a good day, Hank. That's all I wanted, just a little insight.
All right. Thank you, Frederick.
Thank you, Frederick.
All right.
Nice
Good
talking.
talking to you, Justin.
Take care. Have a great day.
Have a good day.
Stay safe.
Bye.
I think I'm going to go and get Jesse a Starbucks.
Oh, sweet.
He's looking extra tired today.
Right on, man.
I'm worried.
Well, it's nice talking with you. Uzi does it.
Uzi. Made in Israel, I think.
Yeah, a beautiful gun.
It was.
Was
The
my
Americans tried to make one.
We couldn't do it, huh?
Called a Mac. It was a piece of
Oh,
junk.
the Mac 10.
Mac
the
10
Mac
and
10?
11.
Not as
10
good
was
as
a
the Uzi.
45 and the 11 was a 9mm. 9mm with the auto loader.
Well, thanks for joining, man.
Thanks,
nice talking
man.
with you.
Have a blessed weekend, guys.
You as well.
Take care. I've
That's,
never worn these things.
I know. Yeah, they take some getting used to.
Yeah, that's what she said. Thanks.
Justin the Rhodesian Ridgeback. Where
Hasta
was
la
I?
vista, baby.
Not even the children, Hake.
I'll be back. Get to
Nice.
the chopper.
And shout out to Anchor Baby, helping to man the show because Hake doesn't know how to work the show when there's complications in here. Complicated business such as Justin from Rhodesia. Thanks, man. Yes, not even the children are innocent. Look, you guys are trying. I mean, I don't know anything about the children. You guys act like everybody knows that there was children involved. I don't know that. Haven't really looked into it. Nick, the Anchor Baby, read the 14-page indictment. And he didn't see anything about children in there. It's just hearsay. And you guys will believe it. Bye, boring guy, says Sion. That's your fellow African. That's your fellow African, Sion. He's boring. Please don't have him back, Hake, says Sion. Whatever. I don't care about the children, Hake, says Rancho Laser. That's right. Justin Bieber was a child. Exactly. That guy's not innocent. You're going to look at Justin Bieber and tell me he's innocent. What kind of parents would let Justin Bieber go into what kind of greedy, money-grubbing parents? I don't know anything about his parents, right? Pardon, maybe I should take that back. But what kind of parents let these children be in the entertainment world? Those are some degenerate parents, especially like in the rap type, R&B singer type world. Because didn't Justin Bieber come in by way of Usher? Sion is hard to please. Don't judge Hake. Yeah, okay, fine. And him Didi's in here saying Justin Bieber got something, but we don't know. You don't know that. We don't know that. And by who? By who? I was about to say whom. By who? Sion, be mean all you want, says Charlie. Yes. Yeah, I just don't. And let's say as kids, yeah, okay. Let's say as kids, it's not your fault that your mother got with a stepfather, and step parents do bad things to kids oftentimes, more times per capita. that part is not your fault. But as an adult or afterwards, you just get past it. You got to get past it. You got to forgive. You got to let it go. Otherwise, you're going to swallow the lie. Oh, I'll carry this with me forever. Dumb woman victimhood stuff. You know what I mean? They'll pretty soon start to say, oh, we carry this in our genes and in our blood. It's genetic trauma. You know how the blacks are trying to say? Shout out to the blacks. Disavow Diddy. What a mess. Anyway, yeah, I don't think they're innocent. But let us get back to some calls. We're past the top of the hour. We have some super chats to read and some more stories to get to, and we have a short time to do it. So Drew in Washington is on the line here. Drew, what's up, man?
How's it going, Hake?
Going well. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Cool.
So, you touched on it earlier, and I wanted to ask, what's wrong with the whites that they're so jealous of the Jews? And I ask this in the context of, like, America has always been a country that went to the demographic with the most agency and, let's say, enterprising spirit about them, where first it was like the Puritans and Protestants, then the Catholics came, and obviously you had the Kennedy family, and the passage of power in America has gone from like Protestants to Catholics, and now it's Jews.
Interesting.
And the question I have is, why are the whites so jealous of the Jews winning the game of America?
I think that a lot of us are at a loss of how or if we can ever get our country back into being sane, you know? Because right now it's run in insanity, very unchristian, which is to say kind of insane. And
Right.
so people are frustrated about that. And, you know, Jews are pretty good trolls. They're like, well, that's just business. Or, you know, they'll say stuff like, supply and demand. I don't know. They'll say stuff like, oh, it's the marketplace of ideas.
Do that accent one more time.
I wasn't aware of putting on an accent. But anyway, they there's something that Obama does that's very trolly to the Tea Party, or he used to do. He's like, you would think they'd be thanking me. And that just drives us boomers, because I identify with the boomers, nuts. Because not only is he lying, he's mocking us.
Hey, you're too young to be a boomer, though.
I know. But I sympathize with them. I used to think I was
spiritually a boomer.
Yeah, I'm a spiritual boomer because I was with the Tea Party. I was like the youngest person I knew who thought the way I did until Trump came along. And then I realized there's all these young people who are for what's right, you know? I thought all young people were dumb liberals because everybody around me was, or just didn't care.
Right. And I was going to say, a lot of people in the MAGA movement now, or who, let's say, were formerly in the MAGA movement, now they're kind of, let's say, politically homeless. They're trying to find another, I guess, impetus to power, if you will.
Yeah.
They're all criticizing Trump for his stance on the war with Israel.
Right.
Where you have Gaza, Hamas, and that whole thing now with Lebanon and Iran. And all they're saying is that he's abandoned his base.
Right.
And my question for those folks is, you know, there has to be some element of like understanding what Trump is doing and why he's doing that. If you want to have political agency in America, sometimes you have to make deals and bargains. And originally, people were fine with him doing that. You know, they were fine with Trump, you know, having certain compromises, being, you know, let's say, fiscally conservative but socially liberal in certain ways. But then, this guy who is a New York billionaire is also the same guy who went ahead and, pretty much overturned Roe v. Wade. And so how much of that was due to the way he goes about politics? And so, I think the fact that the Jews are like the leading donor class and people aren't able to kind of accept that and understand that comes with certain political dictate is interesting. And it's like you're seeing all of these different people just upset with it and they're angry, but none of them, like, Nick had this point where he was saying, like, where's the America First Political Action Committee or something like that? Where's the America First lobby?
Yeah.
Why is it like people who are expressing their grievances, but none of them are actually putting forth a lobby, it's like if you knew how to run politics, none of this would have happened. If there was an actual political, let's say, like, will to power amongst these people, none of this would have happened. If you wanted a country to be more Christian, then it would have never became like liberal in the first place. And so it's just interesting. It's like there's all this seething jealousy where, people talk and talk and talk, but nothing actually happens. And I wanted to know, like, why that is.
I think there is a jealousy is a good word for it. I think we're kind of dumb in that. Well, there's a few different things going on. One is most of us who are sensible, if you will, you want to call it sensible, in terms of we know that this is wrong what the country's doing, are working or whatever. And all we know to do is run our mouths and complain to one another. And then some people will get involved in politics, but those tend to be the phony politician type people. And some people will get involved in businesses and make a lot of money and donate to politicians who seem for what's right. And there needs to be a mass, like the communists infiltrated every level of society, especially the more powerful, seemingly worldly influential areas. So too, that's what we need to do. Just go into the world, live your life, and not necessarily with that in mind. Doesn't have to be like on purpose, but be God-led. And then you're gonna be a light in the world, and whether America itself changes or not, it doesn't affect you on the inside, but it's affecting the people on the inside. They're being frustrated that the world is going in the wrong way. But that is a sign that they're not in the right way. Their own world within is not right.
That's very true.
I think that I personally think there's a lot of disloyalty and pride and overestimation of who Trump's base is. Like Trump's base it includes boomers who are just normal Christians who have no problem with Israel. It includes all kinds of different people. And every pro-Israel gesture or nice to the Jews gesture isn't a betrayal. Like you guys are going crazy, the people who are.
He's a New York billionaire. It's like, what did people expect?
Yeah, he likes and works with Jews, and like you knew that they had Jewish people in his in-laws. His son-in-law and his daughter turned Jewish.
Right, and these people are. I mean, for the record, chat is like destroying.
Say again?
I said chat is like destroying me right now. No, like chat, I agree with you guys.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, this is how the game is played. And so, no, I appreciate you taking my call, Hake. It was great to have this discussion.
Yeah.
But the reality is, America belongs to whoever wants it the most and is willing to actually live in accordance to that political will. Whether you're accruing like social capital, political capital, economic capital, all of this contributes to the country.
Right.
And so you can't just sit on your hands and say, why isn't this happening? Why isn't that happening? You actually have to have a specific plan in order to make sure that whatever society that you want to create is being created.
Yeah.
And people like to talk about how you import the third world, you get the third world, but you also have to understand that the people who built this country are completely different in terms of their makeup, in terms of their ideas, in terms of their lifestyle habits, than the people who are in the country now. Like the lineage of these people, the legacy of these people, the generations of these people
Yeah.
are no longer the same as the people who built the country. So you have that standard to live up to, and if you're not living up to it, then stop complaining.
Yeah, fair point, man. Nice. And like the Jews are major players. No matter what, you're going to have to work with them. There's a right and wrong way to work with them, to play with them. So I think Trump's doing it right overall. Thank you, Drew.
All right, hey, Chris. Yeah, take care. Take care.
Take care. Nice hearing from him. Let me get to a few super chats before I get back to the calls. There were several super chats that have come in. Oh, Lord. Let me fix this. Complicated business, folks. Okay. I'm glad to be done with Obama. Lord have mercy. Simping. He's not even really simping. For cackling lame Kamala Harris. Terry bought a coffee. All these people bought coffees. Popcorn Thump Keg, I think, is where we left off, right? Let's see. Matthew on YouTube. Yeah. I read this. Thank you, Matthew, on YouTube, talking about the dark government, never elected, the bureaucracies, for example, and have no term limits are the real puppet masters, he says. Well, they're among them for sure. People like Obama and Biden sorry, kids, Kamala aren't really the worst problems we have. That's right. Like Obama, I knew that Obama wasn't the problem in the country because I knew a whole lot of suckers who supported him and wanted even more extreme than Obama was able to do. So, please. The fact our greatest president has had so many attempts on his life sort of makes me think he's not going with the dark government's terms. Exactly. And you people. And that's enough to me to actually want to vote at all. Nice. Thank you. Popcorns. Thump Keg. I wasn't trying to attack CSAL. Oh, yeah. Right on. My point is that women do die. Women do die during childbirth. And it stands to reason that pushing a 7-pound child out of your body, try 8 or 9 or 10 pound. Don't ask me what that is in kilograms. With organs shifting, blood loss, and other physiological changes, etc., is going to be risky. It is going to be risky, slightly risky. To suggest it's no big deal is dishonest. Even if you don't die, there are major complications, oftentimes. If there was a 1% chance that a woman would die or have serious complications during childbirth, you'd probably say that's really bad. When you debated Joe from Phoenix, and he suggested, falsely, that less than 1% of blacks were criminals per year, you said that means 1 out of every 100 blacks you run into may be a criminal. That's insane. It's a lot. I assume you have a similar threshold percentage, for when you consider pregnancy to be dangerous? When is 1% out of control? When is it negligible? I don't think that the pregnancy rates, you prompted me to look into this. Maternal mortality, Lord have mercy. So I searched this. Percent chance of death in pregnancy. Well, he said death or major complications, and I didn't look up that part. But in the United States, maternal mortality rate, according to AI, Google AI, if you believe that, was 22 in 2022. 22 out of 100,000. You divide that, it's like 0.02%, something like that. That's not even close to 1%. For black women, it's 49 deaths per 100,000 live births. Sort of interesting. Oh, I may be doing the math wrong, of course, but 49 deaths for every 100,000 live births. That's still like not even 0.1%. Like 0.5%, something like that. Although 49 per 100,000 is about what the murder rate is in many of our cities. Black on black murder rate and black on other people murder rate in the in many of our cities and in many of the most dangerous countries. About 50 per 100,000. 50 homicides per 100,000 people. So that is significant for the black women. And why is that? Obesity or something? Anger? Encouraged to be angry? White women, 19 per 100,000. Hispanic women. And I also saw, when I looked into this, I'm looking into Reddit and Quora. Look at this. U.S. maternal death rate increase. It increased, supposedly, right? And I don't know how much this is true or propaganda. It is almost doubled between 2014 and 2021 from 16.5 per 100,000 live births to 31.8 per 100,000, with the largest increase of 18.9 to 31.8 from 2019 to 2021. Wow. Why all the increase? I mean, part of that might have been the China virus and all that stuff. People were saying, oh, that's pregnant belly. I should have censored it. People were talking about some of the reasons. I think this might have been the one that said the reasons. Pardon the cussing if there's cussing. You go on Reddit. Increase in obesity rates. Remember, with the China virus, people gained like 10 pounds. Some people got fatter. And fat is bad for having the flu or having the China virus too. Or getting pregnant. The impact on COVID, China virus on wellness checkups, decrease in availability in health centers, increase in anger, increase in outrage, increase in Black Lives Matter scaremongering and destruction, hatred of Trump. Hatred is not good for you, ladies. Anxiety is not good for you. This was all prompted because I covered a r/anxiety thread in which some person posted on Reddit, which is a social media platform, boomers, shout out, they're talking about underfunding. Please. Some people are too anxious. They have health anxiety, and they don't want to have children. And so, to me, this popcorn's thump keg thing, he's kind of being an intellectual. Intellectuals miss the point, miss the context oftentimes. C-Cell is saying, basically, you get pregnant, you're going to live, basically. People aren't dying, literally dying. That's not a consideration when you get pregnant, unless you already have some crazy health issues or some complications that you know about already. And so many women, they would rather die and let the baby live. Anyway, he's offended by a pregnant belly, says Charlie Church. Have you noticed that they just shamelessly try to show pregnant women's bodies? I'm like, stop it. Anyway, you weren't trying to attack Seesaw. Shout out, Popcorn. But no, it's nowhere near 1%. Although serious complications, major complications, it probably greatly increases. Maybe it is 1%. In which case, yeah, I mean, I scoff at it still. Because getting pregnant is different from just the raw numbers of the population. Because getting pregnant is less common. And so, like, let's say the rate of stillbirth, the woman dying in pregnancy or labor is about as rare as murder. It's about as rare as murder, which is pretty rare. It's less rare among the blacks in both cases. So it's quite common among the blacks. Anyway, excuse me. What a mess, huh? Thank you, Popcorn's Thump Keg. There was another one from Little Rock man. 3 coffees, something nice, not pithy. What? Cute little shirt. Makes you look 45, I mean 43. You're lying about your age now? Lying is a sin, sir. Oh, let me go back to showing myself. You mentioned me twice yesterday. Comparing me to... Okay, I apologize. I won't mention you anymore. Comparing me to TBY, I did. Little Rocket Man and Tar Baby Yoda, 2 peas in a pod. In that, they both are prone to being vulgar. They're both prone to not having any sense. Very judgmental. That's all I'm saying. And that I pollute the coffees. Yeah, you admitted that you gave dirty references, and I caught you giving dirty references that I did catch. You gave dirty references that I didn't catch, and you laughed about it like it's funny and like it's appropriate. And people go onto my public, buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. You have shown my picture. I didn't mean anything by that. And it doesn't matter if somebody says hateful things about you. Does nothing to you. If you're humiliated, you got to get over that yourself. You open yourself, when you attack people, you open yourself up to being attacked, and you're attacking yourself, really. You'll notice that in conflict with people, you suffer for your wrong, and the other person suffers for his wrong. Or her wrong. And blah, 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 mentioning personal attacks and going after such and so, and thinking that he's not reaping what he's sowing. You're reaping what you're sowing. How many times can a woman be cut on a C-section? C-section, opened up. It's 4 times now. It used to be 3. Yikes, you're nasty. And women can die from childbirth? Yes, they can. I said that they can't. Thoughts on social workers? Stay away from social workers. Some of the worst of the worst. We need Christians and sensible people to get into that world and reform it from within. Reform. Such a communist buzzword, though, huh? Comprehensive immigration reform. Give me a break. Enforce the law. Send them back. Jail the people who have been doing these unconstitutional amnesties. Trump is the law and order president trying to enforce the law. They want to subvert the law. I heard on the radio driving in today that Obama did DACA, deferred action for childhood arrivals, right? Deferred action, meaning we're postponing your deportation. Perhaps we're not going to deport you ever. That's what deferred action means for childhood arrivals of illegal aliens, right? They're like my age, plus or minus. I think mostly minus. They're not children, and they are at fault. They are not innocent. They are no more innocent than Justin Bieber, who is also not innocent. And that's a fact, Jack. Through no fault of their own. Yes, it is your fault. Get out of here. You don't belong here. And shout out to the illegals. I know illegals. It's not sad or heartbreaking that you have to go back. So, I forget how I got onto that from social workers. Oh, reform. And this person on the radio called it a law. It's not a law. Executive orders are not law. Congress makes law. Courts do not make law. Courts cannot write laws, but they pretend to make up fake laws, such as, Roe versus Wade is the law of the land. Oh, really? Show me the legislation that made Roe v. Wade. It's not there. Show me in the Constitution where it is there. It's not. It was a mischaracterization. It was a twisting. It was a fake law. Same thing with so-called same-sex marriage. Well, show me the law. It's not. Anyway, so they just abuse language. It's picky. It's nitpicking in reality. Shout out. James, I'll actually ask for your legit advice. If a person has been violated, how do they go on with their life? By going on with their life. Don't think about it. Or let the thoughts wash over you about it, but realize that those are just torturing. That's meant to torture you. Go through that torture. As Wesley said, I can cope with torture. The question is simply personal for me. Yeah. So, forgive the violator. Oftentimes, you're mad at yourself. Oh, I was mad. I can't believe I opened myself up to being taken advantage of. I didn't want to really help that homeless bum out, but I helped because I'm a sucker. I care too much. So just lay it down. Listen to JLP. Do the silent prayer. Come out of because you're in a hypnotic rut where you can't help just being mad at this person, that person, this person, that person. Tar baby Yoda. Get over it. Anyway, right, James, you don't like me. If you don't like me this much, then could you refund every single super chat I've ever sent? No, I already read them. I do refund when people have already given before. I've refunded this same person before. You don't like me, but you take the money? I like you, and I take your money. Selling your soul for likes or super chats in your case. Don't summon me. I shan't. I shan't. That means shall not. I already told you I'm going my own way. I'm tired of you. You're way too evil. Oh no, you're too evil, and it's uncomfortable and unfortunate because I can't pray for you. So leave me alone. I shall. My bag. Is it my bad? Thank you. Ralph bought 10 coffees. Ralph S. Mouse. Hey, Mr. Hake. Love the show. Keep crushing it. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Popcorn's Thump Keg. 10 coffees. Very generous, by the way. Shout out, Ralph. Popcorn's Thump Keg. And he's pithy. This is called pithy, Popcorn's Thump Keg. He bought a single coffee. I know you usually have Big Bump on your show, so on federal holidays. If he's going to be on the show Monday, Columbus Day, I think, please give this song a listen before then and send it to him to review. I know he raps, and I think it might make for a good conversation Monday. My grandma used to say Monday. It's only 3 minutes long, probably one of the realest songs I've heard about the plight of growing up poor, parent-child dynamics, forgiveness, and God. Is it Dear Mama? Nice. Thank you, sir. So we shall look that up. And mute. It's this thing. Nice. Thank you, sir. Here, I'll put it in my watch later. How do I do this? I'm a boomer over here. Save. Watch later. See, boomer Hake. Learning. Back to the supers. Thank you, Popcorn Stump Cake. Leo, 3 coffees. Hake! I gave Jesse my pop money this weekend so you can have my my strip money for the weekend. You know, like the strip. You go down to the strip. Like it's a section, it's like a block. That's what he means. Use responsibly. Thank you, Leo. Appreciate that. Very kind. It's also his club money. Thank you, Leo. Nice. Ego is real with the coffee. Doug Emhoff seems like a total commie. I mean, that's just his culture. Learning that he only hired attractive women for his law firm, gave more work to women who wouldn't flirt with him, verbally berated women when they did dumb things, and slapped around his mouthy girlfriend. Maybe Doug has some redeeming qualities. Disavow. Thank you. Ego is real. I'm not laughing. I stopped laughing. Sweet. Manuel, 25 coffees. Check your Insta, LOL. Joel will love it. And he's spelling Joel, Joelle. Look, Hake's Instagram. What? No. Is it notifications or is it messages? No, I don't want notifications. Maybe I shouldn't do this on stream. I'll check it out. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Thank you kindly, man. Terry bought a coffee. You mentioned the phony idea of generational trauma being passed down. What do you think of sins being passed through lineages? I think until these things are overcome, families will continue to face the same issues. I see it more as sin than as trauma, but most people don't want to talk about sin. Trauma is oftentimes used as a secular word for what is a spiritual problem. Trauma is kind of like grudge. Grudge prompts fear, a grudge that sticks with you, that you hold on to. It's kind of like a grudge, which is a spiritual issue. Yeah. I mean, it comes through more like habits than in the blood necessarily, I think. Like different families and different races have different issues. Different cultures take on different issues. You could, I don't know, maybe there's some messed up component to different people's genes. Don't know, don't care. At root, like you said, it is spiritual. Because you can get past like anything. Remember Bruce Lee got all sick and then he pictured crumpling up his problems and throwing it in the trash. And he overcame it. And then he died from aspirin. Because he's allergic. Weak. Nah, I'm kidding. I don't know if that's true. Nice. Thank you, Terry. Something to consider and ponder. Matthew on YouTube bought a coffee during a full moon now. Werewolves start to come out. Woke culture needs to stop. I don't understand the connection with your last woke culture needs to stop versus during a full moon now werewolves come out. But that's a fascinating pair of ideas. Thank you, Matthew on YouTube. Cool stuff. I gotta check the Streamlabs and other places. Thank you, Animus. I forgot to check the Rumble. What's up, Rumblers? I should check over here where I'm live. Turfly Monkey, Jules Verne, Crichton Hendren, Old Saucy, Xenia, I think. I think Xenia was in there. Yes, Xenia, Davey, VWGLS. Oh, come on. I think I can refresh. Nobody wants to see you, Don Jr. Shout out. Oh, yeah, okay. I already refreshed it and it took away the thing. And it's just me looking at the ad. What's up, guys? And then the D-Live crew. What's up, everybody? GMD Jim, Guy in a Buffalo, GG Cash, 22, Kilo Alpha Tango. Congratulations. Dolphin Spirit, 88. So cool. Is that how dolphins sound? Something like that. Nice. Sweet. I feel like there might be other places where I got to check. Cash App, Ko-fi, Tim Scott, thank you, sir. Kick people. Nobody on X, that's fine. Facebook crew, Lisa, nice to see ya. All right, guys, let's get back to calls, shall we? Over on Kentucky, John, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man.
Nice.
So, people buy coffee for you to read their message.
Yeah, it's not an actual coffee. It's just like metaphorical. It's a super
Right,
chat.
right.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so why don't they just call in and say what they want to say?
Sometimes
I don't get that.
it's fun to hear Hake listen to it, or they don't have time. They just want to shoot a message over, or they want to be supportive, or they're banned.
Okay.
So in one case, he's banned from calling in.
They still support you after you ban them.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
That's called.
I don't know if I could do that, man.
That's called. What is it called? I forget.
Insanity?
When you love your torturer, something like that. Stockholm syndrome.
I bet Mark ain't sent you no coffee.
No, he hasn't. He's too old school to send me any coffee,
man.
and he's not banned.
I know he's not banned. He's
Yeah.
just being stubborn.
Right.
He's just being stubborn.
He's pouting.
But man, I got a question about America and how it was established. Do you think that the white people established this country in a righteous way?
I don't know. I want to believe it. I don't know.
Because you know how we teach that the white man was ruthless, and you know it was by any means necessary for them to establish a land and a government for white people.
And can you
And
be
so they
righteously
did
ruthless?
anything. No, heck no.
Oh, well, God told the Israelites to leave nothing alive sometimes in the Old Testament. Not even an
Yeah, but that's
animal
God.
or a woman or a child. Leave nothing alive. That would be righteously ruthless, right?
That's God's chosen people, though.
Right.
So it wouldn't apply to y'all because y'all are not God's chosen people. But I'm just trying to see if you're an honest person.
No, I mean, I
Because
don't
you
know. I couldn't say.
The way y'all established y'all's country, it almost ruined other races. I mean, races.
You
Like
mean
the
like the
Indians,
the American Indians?
Yeah, like their lifestyle is trash, man. You know, being on that reservation, and most of them are alcoholics and drug users.
But isn't that their fault?
That's self-accountability.
Yeah.
But no, the situation that y'all put them in, man, like y'all put them in a reservation on their own land.
But they didn't own it, and we took it from them righteously. In some cases, we bought it from them, and then they didn't know how to get along with us sometimes. Some of them did, and we had to like put the smack down because they were raping and robbing and stealing and killing.
I think that was the other way around, Hake. The other way around.
It was
They were
mutual.
like,
It was mutual combat in some cases, but a lot of times
y'all
it was.
came to their landmass, though.
But it wasn't theirs. They came to it too. That's just the way of the
How
world.
was it not theirs if they were there living on it for generations and they had culture here already, the way they lived and moved around and,
Yeah,
you know, the respect they had for the land?
allegedly.
Like
I mean, I'm told
I
that
mean-
too. I like that type of thing. I like the fact that they wanted to, for example, use the whole animal when they kill the animal. That's cool. But I think that it's a bit romanticized, the view of the American Indians. And some of them were decent people who worked with us, and some of us were decent people who wanted to work with them, like Sam Houston. No, was it Sam Houston? He wanted to work with the Indians and do right by them. Other people were a little bit rougher, or a lot rougher. And
But
what
you used the
happened
word-
happened. It wasn't their own land. They didn't believe in ownership. They fought amongst themselves, just like everybody does. Whites fight against themselves. Blacks fight against themselves. The American Indians, the different tribes, and even within the tribes, they couldn't hold it together. There's always been people getting conquered and different people moving in, right? It's happening right now to America.
That's what I was going to say. What I was going to say. So how do you look at it now that y'all being conquered and y'all probably never going to get America back?
Right.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, I think that we're weak, just as the Indians were weak.
I don't think the Indians were weak. I think they were just too trustworthy of y'all coming in there.
Too trusting?
Yeah, too trusted of y'all.
Yeah, we had different cultures. Like there's this thing called Indian giving, they gave it something to us, and we're like, oh, thanks. And we didn't give anything to them, and so they tried to take it back because we were supposed to give something to them or something like that.
Yeah, Indian giver, like you give them something and then take it back.
Right, because and that
giver
was, and it was different cultures that just couldn't get along. People are evil on both sides. You can't pretend like whites are the only evil people.
No, I'm not saying whites are the only evil. I just believe you guys are the most evil because you went across the whole globe and like just pure destruction and evil.
But it's not pure destruction. We made a lot of stuff better. We improved a lot of stuff.
For yourself. For
everybody.
Made it bad for others.
It wasn't really.
Made it bad for others.
I don't know. Blacks have it pretty good. The American Indians don't really have it bad if they know how to act and live.
Man, okay, would you trade lives with an American Indian?
No.
No, you wouldn't because they don't have it good. They just have to deal with it.
I wouldn't trade lives with Justin Bieber.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't trade lives with Donald Trump.
Hey, yes, you would.
No.
You would love to. Yes, you would.
No,
but, hey,
he has to deal with a lot of crap. Go ahead.
You used the word romanticize earlier.
Yeah.
That's the complete white history, the way they teach it to us. Like,
that's not true.
Y'all's entire history is just romanticized.
Well,
y'all
tell me this.
It in a way,
tell me
tell
this.
it in a way to make yourself look like heroes and stuff. Man,
not really, because we know
devils.
When I was a kid, I knew that I wasn't involved in building up America, and I knew too. I was told that there were good and bad things that they did.
What was bad that y'all did? I would like to hear that.
I don't know. Sometimes we might have beat the slaves a little too harshly.
Oh my God!
Stuff like that.
Man. You're not honest.
I don't know. I wouldn't. Man. You know me. I'm squeamish. I don't like to see people getting beaten too harshly. Only justified brutality.
All right, go ahead and finish your thought.
No, go ahead.
No. You were saying something. I cut you off. You start. I asked you a question on what you thought was bad that white people did.
Oh, just beating the slaves too harshly, and maybe some of them massacred some Indians unjustifiably. Sometimes, maybe, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. In war, there's always people doing wrong.
So what about the slave uprisings? Were slaves wrong for rising up and killing their owners and families, the family on the farm and everything?
I would say so.
Wrong for that?
Definitely.
Or would that be like self-defense?
No, that's not self-defense. It's killing innocent people. When you're rightfully a slave. You can get your freedom by getting up the money to buy your freedom.
No.
Or if you want to take the risk, you can sneak out or whatever. But no, it's not righteous to kill the slave owners.
But see, the thing is, the slaves they didn't want to be slaves. They were forced into being slaves.
Fair.
So if they finally get the chance to get their freedom, but they need to kill this man right here that's been ruthless to them, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay. Now, what if he's not being ruthless to them?
By having them as slaves, he's being ruthless.
No.
By making them work from sun up to sundown and all these harsh conditions. That's being ruthless. Nobody wants to live a life like that.
But you're supposed to work from sun up to sundown, even if you're not a slave. And blacks can handle the sun.
Not for no slave owner. Not for no slave owner.
Slave owners did not have a cushy life, man.
Some of them did.
Maybe.
The bigger ones did. But the ones who were...
And they weren't the ones who got killed.
I would have to research that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just made a claim. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But all I know is that the way I look at it, slave owners were evil, man, and it would have been the blacks and slaves were the righteous ones, the ones who are Israelites. I mean, I say it all the time.
That's called romanticizing, though. You're just doing what you accuse me.
That's the truth.
No, because
that's the truth.
Because people aren't righteous generally. You might find a righteous slave, and you might find a righteous slave owner, but in general, everybody's evil.
Well, I mean, that's y'all's philosophy.
That's reality. That's in the Bible. It's a fact.
Bless y'all.
Even the
Allah.
Israelites, most of them are evil. They did
Yeah,
evil in
and
the
that's why we're
eyes of the
getting
Lord.
punished.
Yep.
That's why we're getting punished. But if you notice, man, like y'all make fun of us, but
Big
we're
time.
coming back. I mean, we're establishing ourselves right now, man.
I respect you
And-
guys working and, having their families and stuff. You know that.
Hey, this is what God wants us to do.
Nice.
That's what it says for us to do in the Bible is to join together.
Yep.
And when we do, and we remain righteous, Christ is gonna come back for us.
Sweet.
And then all that stuff that you talk about romanticizing is really gonna happen, but it'll
Well.
be the other way around.
All right, John in Kentucky.
I'm just saying.
Nice talking
All
with you.
right.
Have a good weekend.
All right.
Peace. Lord, have mercy. I got to get to William in California. He's been on hold forever and a day. William, thank you for calling. What's up?
Yeah. Hey, James, how you doing? You got quite a few Williams, I've noticed.
Indeed. And he was another Catholic.
No, and in California.
Yep.
Yeah. That was, well, I'm not going to attack. That didn't make any sense what I just heard. Obviously, this guy doesn't understand colonization. He doesn't
Right.
understand that word.
Yeah.
But that guy one of your guests is from, what's the country?
Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe.
That's near, I think, East London, Africa. Is a part of Africa. These places were colonized. As for the American Indian, this was not his. He was just here. It wasn't nationalized or colonized
Yeah.
yet.
Yep.
Okay, so living in the 16th century, if you're going to go back that far, know what you're talking about.
Yeah, who made the rule that if you were here first or you've been here for hundreds of years, that means it's yours and nobody else can live there and take it or
Well, it's
become
not
it?
the first time it's happened.
Right.
It's happened all over the world. So
It's a fake value. It's a fake rule. God
very
never
much
said that.
So. Very much so. And last time I checked it, I don't know who's taking the country from us, but I mean, it is being flipped over for the worse. I do understand that. But the last time I checked, Hebrew Israelites don't have any economic power or aircraft carriers or missiles to take anything. And I still haven't gotten my question answered about them marching in Springfield.
Oh, yeah. But they have the Lord on their side. The
They
Lord
ain't
will
got
fight their
nothing.
battle.
They got nothing. That's why they joined that crap. But anyway, I wanted to say, I want to throw the props out to Ethel Kennedy. She passed away yesterday.
Indeed.
And we're talking about babies and women having babies, and she had 11.
That's impressive. She was
Okay.
One thing I don't like about her, she was a human rights activist.
Oh, yeah, well, the Kennedys, yeah.
Boo.
Well,
But anyway, go ahead.
The shout out to, the women have been standing up. There's a lot of women in the chat that got a lot of common sense, and they've been standing up and about these stats that you're pulling up about death through birth. Man, that is rare.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is rare.
Man,
And-
you know what? I got to run, William. I just realized I have this long song I got to
Yeah,
play.
go ahead,
Let's
man. Go
talk
ahead.
again. Have a good weekend.
I hit you Monday.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Bye. Guys, I got to end. Rick and Kyle and the rest of the callers, peace in your hearts, hopefully, maybe. Less likely hopefully even more likely than in the Middle East. I got to play, it's Fob Friday, it's Chinese music today. I got to play Blessing live.
朋友，我永远祝福你。
Sorry, headphones listeners.
朋友，我永远祝福你。
My friend, I give you blessing.
朋友，我永远祝福你。
I wish you blessing, something like that.
不要问，不要说，一切尽在不言中。这一刻，围着烛光，让我们静静地度过。莫回首，莫回头，当我唱起这首歌，怕只怕 泪水轻轻地滑落。愿心中永远留着我的笑容，伴你走过每一个春夏秋冬。继续走，继续游，人生难免苦与痛，失去过才能真正懂得去珍惜和拥有。情难舍，人难留，今朝一别各西东，那何人点点滴滴在心头。
And I don't even think the lyrics are cringy.
愿心中永远留着我的笑容，伴你走过每一个春夏秋冬。
Say goodbye.
说离别，离别虽然在眼前，说再见。
再见 means goodbye, right?
再见不会再遥远，若有缘，有缘就能期待明天。你和我重逢在灿烂的季节。
Ni ho wa means you and I. Hake suddenly ends it as soon as William starts praising women. Nice. Shout out to the Asians. Jacky Cheung, blessing. Not Chan, Cheung.
伤离别，离别虽然在眼前，说再见，再见不会再遥远。若有缘，有缘就能期待明天。你和我重逢在灿烂的季节。伤离别，离别虽然在眼前，说再见，
再见，
再见不会太遥远。伤离别，离别虽然在眼前，说再见，再见不会太遥远。若有缘，有缘就能期待明天。
Go Jacky!
你和我重逢在灿烂的季节。不要问，不要说，一切尽在不言中。
Yeah, it's not
这
Christian.
一刻。 围着烛光，让我们静静地度过。莫回首，莫回头。当我唱起这首歌，愿心中留着笑容，陪你度过每个春夏秋冬。
Thank you. Thank you. Hey. Adios, America. No Joel Friday, The Fallen State. Bye.